Welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today I'm going to be working on issue 13 of the Moomin house. This is probably going to require me, after reading through, to actually stop recording, set things aside, because building this seat is going to be really intense. There's a couple of cushion pieces, some fabric. It's going to take a while. Things are going to have to dry, but I will record it and then splice it together. So we'll push on. First thing to do is obviously turn the book, or open the book to the correct page. And in this issue, we do a little bit more work on the ceiling of the house. Like I said at the end of the last video, I'm going to pop this loose because it should all be in place now. Hopefully that didn't glue itself. And unfortunately, these parts split. No damage, they just split while I was trying to put it together. This actually is probably going to work out much better putting it back and forth together, because with it that way I don't have to fight with it to get it on. I'll probably leave it like that until I actually put the base on underneath, and then I'll glue it back together. So the first parts we're going to use is this being the beam C, beam E, and beam L. Let me go ahead and get those out. Let me set the fabric aside, and you see L, C, and come on, focus, E, and they're going to go in and go on this side of the wall that's just sitting in there. It says to connect them so that the surfaces are level. I'm going to go ahead and move the green mat, or the purple mat. Short end on top here for beam E. Hang on, let me double check. Short end on top doesn't look like the keyway is facing the right. Okay, never mind. This is what they're doing. So part 1 beam L. I have to look at this because they're calling this beam L and this beam E, when in actuality this is L. So there's the L, there's the E. Right there it says part 3 beam E, part 1 beam L. They're reversed, because they're reversed, and it can confuse you like it did me. But you want it to go in like this, to where the chamfered edge here and here match up. You throw some glue in here, because if you put it on backwards, what's going to happen is these are not going to match up to the outside of the wall. Oh, and of course I'm putting it on upside down. So if you look, when it goes on here, this edge and this edge should match. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over. We're going to put part C on here. Obviously the only place it can go at this point is into this other notch on L. Wow, way too much glue there. I just stopped watching Mark and Kev over on Mark's Mods channel. They're doing a live stream, the Partworks Live, where they talk about Partworks. We mentioned this a little bit, talked a little bit about it. I'm one of the few people that I know of that is actually doing this and doing it on YouTube. So So that's how that goes in there. It says to stain it. I'm not doing it exactly the same as I left this other one. Let's put that back on there. I want the contrast. It's going to roll over like this, and there's more glue seeped out right there. And it's just going to go on here like that. Need the walls in there so that the walls are in roughly the right spot. And you lay this in on top of the markings on the ceiling. So it says, and I'm reading the instructions, this is all that we're doing on the ceiling for this issue. Keep it in a safe place. And again, this is going to be where I figure out in the next couple of issues where I'm going to put the lights in the ceiling. Probably get this in place. It's probably going to be right here. Can't see the backside. Okay, a little bit, not too bad on the leakage here. A little bit here. And a little bit here. So I'm going to just set this off to the side. I'm not going to bother to put the floor on. This should be fine, just sitting here like that. And it's going to set up, and we'll see it the next time we work on the ceiling. So the next part of this issue is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. First thing we got to do is separate these legs, and it says to separate the armrest cushion, which this is a very, very thin piece of wood. Well, I tend to call this, because I've got other models that have got something like this, I call it wooden, wooden photo etch. So that's going to go on there. I'm going to probably on the our live stream this afternoon. It is Sunday afternoon. I will work on this some, because I can do that during a live stream and not miss anything on the videos that I do. So here's the two quote unquote cushions, and I'm going to have to glue fabric over top of those. Bottom of the seat, the armrests. I'm going to leave these pieces not cut, or these are not, I'm not going to cut loose until I'm ready to do them. Probably will work on those during our live stream this afternoon, simply because there's no rush, and I've got, depending on how long we go, 2 to 4 hours to finish it. Let me just take a look here. And once you get that, paint the chair blue. So let me see. Push it in as far as it will go. And it has just looking, okay, it goes on this side. What they have you do is push this down, push the backrest down, so that you can see how it sticks out. Mark on the backrest, support to the seats joint, tilt the backrest slightly backwards. Oh, I see what they're saying. They're going to have you make a mark here and sand that down just a little bit, so that instead of like straight up, it's like this once it's fit in there. So let me get a pencil and hold this in place. The backrest supports, to make a mark on the backrest supports on both sides. Okay, when it says on both sides, I'm thinking it means back in front of the seat, but actually what they're talking about is on both of these. So there's a mark there, there's a mark there. And you can see very dim pencil marks. Let's see, shave down the edges, backrest support is shown, shave gently with a craft knife, taking care not to take too much off, sharpen the end to 1 millimeter. Okay, so it's gonna get sharpened very sharp down there. It says to shave it. I am going to use a sanding stick, and I'll be back after I get that done. Okay, I've got it sanded down, and I may have gone a little bit too far, but I can adjust that by the amount of glue I put in there. When I put this on here and I lay it flat, I think this is called a Queen Anne chair, but it leans back about like that, maybe a little bit further than I want it. Might want to do it to there. Like I said, I can do a little bit of adjustment with the glue. So let me go ahead and drop some glue in here. And then get that put in there. I'm putting excess glue in there so that when it dries, it'll actually hold a little bit wherever I position it to. Go ahead and wipe that excess off there. Maybe I could have used super glue, but I think it's going to work out just fine. Maybe. Might have to use some super glue instead of this. Glue the parts together. Equal distance around the edge. I have to see how well this hangs together. Yeah, every time I set it down, it comes loose. So you do this a little bit different. Be very sparing when you use super glue. Let me get this. I'm looking for my tool for super glue. I don't see it right now. There it is. My pin vise. Anybody who's watched any of my videos has seen me use that before. This bottle is really, really running down. So I'm going to take the pin vise, put glue on both sides here. I'm actually going to fill the entire area. I'm going to put it up on the sides as well. I don't usually use super glue on wood because it is a very fragile joint, whereas the white glue joint is a little bit, it holds a little bit better. Plus, once super glue is in place, you're really done. It is placed, and you are not gonna, once it dries at all, you're not moving it. Go ahead and lay that down, push this up just a hair, and that's already set up. A little bit better angle, maybe a little bit too far, but that's okay. Go ahead and lay that on its back. So the next piece that goes on here is the seat base. It says to put the seat base on and make sure that it is roughly equidistant all the way around. I'm going to pause, go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Okay, got the legs on. I actually super glued the legs as well so that they would attach a little bit quicker. You can see there it says to, to make it look a little bit better, if you round the edges a little bit. Not going to matter that much because it's going to be inside the house. So the next thing that I need to do is cut these pieces off, the armrests, and there's going to be the You got the armrest support and then the armrest. So I'm going to go ahead and go off screen, take care of that, do the sand the little nubs that are going to be there, and be right back. Okay, I've got 3 out of the 4 pieces done. I've done a cut on this side. I just wanted to come back and show you because it's not cut on this side. What you have to do is very carefully cut that nub from both sides. Once you've done it on one side, you come back on the other side, do the same thing. And I don't know if you heard that click, but the blade dropped further into the wood, so I knew it was done. So like I said, just take the sanding stick, real light, quick sand on the nub. There's usually only one nub on these parts, the way they've done the laser etching or the laser cutting. And at this point, you're going to take the armrest support and you're going to push it down in here, down into the slot here. And it says to do this with wood glue. So let me take my glue, which is probably clogged at this point since I didn't put the top on it. I keep a straight pin handy just for that, so I can poke it through there. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to put the glue, a little bit of glue in there, push it down in there, got a blob of glue on the bottom again, just like normal. And it should be slanting out away from the chair. We do the same thing over on this side. Put this one on. And again, both of them are slanting out away from the chair. And then these last 2 pieces are going to, this back piece is going to hook, maybe not hook, but it's going to sit up against the back of the backrest, and the hole is going to be where the support goes in. So I'm going to put some, actually it's probably going to be easier to do glue on the support. And then a little bit of glue on the back. Make sure that it's curved out because you want to be able to actually have somebody sit in it. Probably should have done a dry fit off screen before I glued anything, but I'm adventurous. And it's got to go all the way down in, otherwise it doesn't look right. So you can see that that's all the way down in. This, I could actually have gone a little bit further back with the backrest. I'm going to end up having to sand that off just a hair. We do the same thing over on this side. A little bit of glue on the back, a little bit of glue on the post, which is now coming loose. And that's because I was working with the other side. Slide this down onto the post. It's a little bit difficult to get to go on, but once it's on there, and it's got about the same, I'm adjusting it so that it's got the same amount sticking out on both sides. I'll be sanding that off to make it straight. There is the semi-completed chair. So it needs to be they say to primer it. I'm not going to primer. I'm just going to go straight with the blue over top of it. And then it says to paint it blue. Then it goes over how to make the cushions and the armrests. Let's see, it says you made a dining room chair to match the dining table. In the next issue, we put together another chair. I'm not sure how many of these chairs there are. I do know that I'm not going to make a whole bunch of them on video. I'll make them off screen and then come back and show you. I'm just looking. The smaller cushion is going to go up here, and it's going to actually match up with that. The larger cushion is going to go down here. I'm basically summing this up because at this point I'm going to finish this up off screen. I'm going to paint the chair. I'll paint the chair. I will probably come back and show how to do these, the two cushions and the tops, the armrest cushions on screen. However, it's going to be in the middle of a live stream. We start live streaming for Sunday in about 20 minutes. So I'll be doing this during a live stream. I will just pause the video here at this point, do this stuff, show you what it looks like when it comes back. I got to paint the back, the chair first, and we'll press on at that point. So I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and that was a lot of work. Getting this together, I forgot that I used spray paint on here on the table, and I'm going to go ahead and leave the paint just like it is right here. So let's double check. Okay, so at this point, all I have left to do is glue the two cushions on. The cushions actually went really, really well. I'm very pleased with the way they came out. And the armrests. The armrests were a nightmare, to be honest. But so let me go ahead and get those glued on, and I will be back in a minute once they're glued on. Okay, so I've got the armrests glued. Got the armrest glued on. Got the backrest cushion glued on. I'm working on the seat cushion. There's a slight problem with the seat cushion. I actually missed a part, but it's not going to be very, very visible. And I knocked off the one leg for the chair while I was doing this. Let me go ahead and get this glued back on. I may do a video on the next chair because there's at least one more chair. If not, I'm guessing there's going to be a total of 4 chairs, which is going to be a lot of work. I will probably do a video of, just building one of these chairs once I'm done once I'm proficient at it. It looks good. It's good enough to see from the outside and not have any problems, but it is a little bit rough. I do like it. I love the way the blue is, and it looks very good with this table. And see, that's the thing. Is there going to be 4? Or it could actually only be 2 chairs. I'm expecting at least 2 chairs per side. So total of 4, could be a total of 6. This right here is double-sided tape. Very much needed when you're doing the cushions. And I actually have some spare parts left over. So let me double check. That is the end of stage 13, or pack 13, however you want to call it. Hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying the build. It has been quite a while. It's been a couple hours since I did this. It should be fully glued and set. So if you want to get this, it's available through DeAgostini.com. And not a whole lot of people are building it that I know of. lost my train of thought. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. Like, subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on YouTube, Discord, and Facebook, which I'm actually going to be going back to right now. I was working on this stuff during our Sunday stream. And I will see you in the next video.